Okay, so welcome to the next Dr. Deb. Today I'm going to talk about something that's a very, probably the most useful thing I ever learned in therapy. And I learned it when I was in 16, when I very first started going to counseling. I've been going to counseling almost 20 years now. On and off, not on a regular basis, but on and off for 20 years. And I've learned a lot of things. And so even when I come up into difficulties in my life, like for instance, leaving my abusive husband and not having my children is a very stressful period, but I'm doing remarkably well, things considered. And a big part of that is that I have this toolbox, this virtual toolbox of skills. And one of my very, very favorite and most useful that I ever learned was this. And now this may not work for everybody. I know it might work especially well for me just because I consider myself a writer. But it's a fascinating phenomena. It's just called left and right hand writing. And what you do is, or dominant and non-dominant. What you do, it's a diagnostic tool. You take pen, pencil. I prefer pen because it's easier to write with. Um, and you get some paper. Often I get paper that I could later throw away because I didn't like what I said to myself. But then you start talking to yourself. And what you do is use your dominant hand, in my case the right, and you write yourself a question. Oftentimes for me it's something like, how am I feeling, or why am I feeling, this way? And and then here's the trick: you put the pen in your non-dominant hand, so in my case the left, and you answer yourself. And it's a little bit tricky first. You have to learn how to not censor yourself, just let whatever comes comes. B, your handwriting's gonna suck, so don't be self-conscious about that. Just be aware it's gonna suck. And even if you can't read it very well because it's chicken scratch, you'll know what you intend to write, and that's the important thing. Because what happens is, using your dominant hand accesses the other side of your hemisphere. The other hemisphere of your brain, that's the dominant side, the right side, and that's the logical, and that's where most of your conscious mind resides. And then when you switch to your non-dominant hand, it actually accesses the other hemisphere of your brain, which is the primary location for your unconscious mind. I mean, not entirely, but primarily. And so by using your non-dominant hand and by being willing to not censor yourself, you actually tap right into your subconscious. And it's fascinating the things you'll learn. Now, I used to speak to myself in the royal we. How are we feeling? What we feel like? And that's because I was actually a multiple personality, past tense. And I never could figure out why, after I thought I integrated, I was still referring to myself as we, and it turns out it's because I wasn't fully integrated. But it's a really remarkably useful tool. Really remarkably useful tool. Um, because the thing is, I don't know about you, but I know for me, the important part of dealing with any problem, getting past any problem, is getting to the why. Why? Why for myself? Why for other people's motivations? Just if I have the why, then I can deal and I can let it go and I can move on. But I have to understand. For me, it's an intellectual exercise, and some people that's not the case. Some people they just have to be able to let it go, and this can be a process for that. But for me, I really have to understand. I have to intellectualize it. I have to analyze it. I have to get it. On some level, I have to get it, and then I can let it go. I can move on. I can do the next thing. And so for me, this was especially useful because this helped me get to the why. Why am I scared? Why am I upset? Why am I whatever, whatever? And the answer always came. The answer always came. And it was fascinating. I'd debate with myself. I'd comfort myself. I'd get startling insight from myself. And like I said, it can be a little tricky because you have to teach yourself how not to censor, and you have to teach yourself to. I've gotten a lot better with my left-hand writing. It's not great, but it's totally legible now after all these years of doing it. And don't freak out. Just don't freak out, because most people are, people are more and less aware of what's going on in their unconscious mind. Some people have no freaking clue. I have one friend in particular who, I swear, the person insists there is no subconscious, let alone that there's a big one. Or that there's deep dark things lurking in the subconscious. And I am very aware, as a dear friend and as someone who's a psych major and does these kind of things, that there is a great big deep dark subconscious, and by not even acknowledging it, they have had all sorts of problems because that subconscious has gotten them in all sorts of trouble. But I think they're finally starting to tap into it, which is good. I remember I actually sent, excuse me, sent a handwritten letter to this friend about how to do the same technique, and they're like, "Well, that's very sweet, but I don't need it." I'm like, "I sent that for a reason, but okay, whatever." But yeah. So this is the most useful thing I ever learned in all of therapy, was was writing to my own subconscious, talking to my own subconscious directly. Because until you understand yourself, you could never hope to heal yourself. And let's face it, nobody can heal you but you. Nobody can fix you but you. Nobody can help you but you in the long run. You can have people that care about you. You can have people that educate you. You can have people that help you feel safe enough that you can do things right. But ultimately, that's just all external. You know, learning new things and being loved and feeling safe are all very good and valuable and useful things and getting you to where you need to be. But at the end of the day, and at the end, when all is said and done, the reality is only you can make you better. Only you can understand you. Only you can help and fix and heal and save you. So hopefully this little technique will help. This is a remarkably short video, so yay! Dr. Deb, dominant and non-dominant writing. Hopefully you'll make use of this. Hopefully you'll make use of this in your journal and you'll learn something. And if you do, feel free to write me back about it because I'd love to hear. I don't know that I have my email posted anywhere, obviously, but if you want to write me, one of them is dulcetdeb@gmail.com. That's DULCET period DEB at gmail.com. And I really do hope this finds you well. It's coming on to the Christmas season, and I hope that times are not too stressful for you, that you can actually just enjoy, this increased spirit of kindness and generosity rather than focusing too much on the, Christmas presents and materialism and being around family members you don't like. I'm trying to remember what this is about, because even if you're not of a Christian theology, you can appreciate that this is a time of year where people try to be more generous and try to remember that there is much more to life than stuff. Although, conversely, it's also the most materialistic time of year. Regardless, I hope you're well. I hope you use this. I hope you learn things, and I'd love to hear from you.